our dignitaries for our presentation today. I'll just start at the top of the list. We have our District Governor, Jeannie Germain, DGE, Jocelyn Chapman, and her lovely PDG husband, Mike Chapman, DGN, Troy Willingham, PDG, Eloy Nunez, and his wife, Maria, PDG, Eugene Bell, PDG, Carl Trelevin, PDG, Tim Schuler, PDG, Charlie Rogers, PDG, Will Miller, and Alicia Botsdorf Miller, PDG, George Robertson Burnett, and PDG, David West. I'd like to introduce Alan Collins to you, and he sent me his bio, and he wanted me to kind of edit it a little bit and change it up, but there's nothing in here that's not noteworthy or worth mentioning. So I'm going to read it. Alan Collins joined Rotary in 1996 as a member of the Rotary Club of Pinellas Park. After several years, Alan left Rotary to help raise his family and start his own business. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I think it's a real estate company. Alan returned to Rotary with the Rotary Club of St. Petersburg West. He has served as the club president and has had various club positions. Alan served as assistant governor from 2015 to 17. He was elected district governor nominee designate in 2016 and served as district governor in 2019 and 2020 into 2020. Alan has earned several awards such as Assistant Governor of the Year in 2015-16, the Keith Kerber Ace Award for Area Club Excellence for both 2015-16 and 16-17. The Woodrow V. Register Distinguished Leadership Award 2017-2018 and District 6950 All-Star Leadership Award 2016-17. Alan's a Paul Harris Fellow, Paul Harris Society member, Major Donor, and Bequest Society member. Alan is a polio survivor and a member of Polio Survivors Rotary Action Group. He is a member of the Literacy Rotarian Action Group and numerous Rotary fellowships. He was the chairperson for the first District 6950 $1 million dinner campaign, which raised over $2.4 million in new bequest and major donor gifts for the Rotary Foundation. He is married, as we all know, to Teresa Collins, a Rotarian and president-elect for the Rotary Club of St. Petersburg West. They have 3 adult children, 5 grandchildren. Alan enjoys golf, even though he's not good at it, and fishing. Alan and Teresa reside in Terra Verde. I know we're all privileged to call Alan a fellow Rotarian, but I'm sure you'll agree with me that we are most proud to call him our friend. Alan. You're muted.
How about that? Now we ready?
Perfect.
Ryan, thank you very much, and thank all of you. Thank all of you for the opportunity that you gave me to serve as your district governor in the last Rotary year. It was an experience of a lifetime. There's really one person that I really need to thank, though, and her name tag read the district governor's partner, and partner she was. She attended every club visit with me. She made sure that we were at the right club, at the right day, at the right time. She made sure we had everything that we needed for that particular meeting. She helped carry everything in. She helped set everything up. She made sure that when she was at that meeting that she met everyone in the room. When the meeting was over, she helped pack everything back up. But what I would notice at those meetings is there'd be a few Rotarians that would gather to me and say goodbye and thank you. The majority of the club would gather around Teresa and talk to her and say thank you. So Teresa, you made last year possible. Thank you very much, and I love you. You know, it was a privilege. It was a privilege for us to visit the great Rotary clubs of our district, to learn more about the differences that all your clubs are making in the communities and around the world. We enjoy the opportunity to renew old acquaintances and make new friends, and we hope that we'll have an opportunity in the days and years to come and revisit all those clubs again. What a difference a year can make, right, guys? Who would know that just a week after Pets last year in March, that our Rotary lives would change, and change they did. We went from being the socializers that we are to being quarantined in our own home and businesses and praying to stay healthy. But we are Rotarians. We are doing what Rotarians do. We are helping those who are less fortunate. If you remember last September, we packed and shipped over 100,000 meals to our neighbors in the Bahamas who were devastated by Hurricane Dorian. We gathered tons of supplies and shipped those to those in need. Some of our Rotarian pilots flew countless mercy missions carrying supplies and necessities. We've committed thousands of dollars to help purchase and rebuild boat engines for the fishing fleets in the Bahama Islands and get those people back to work. And our work still continues there. A global grant is being worked on right now to rehabilitate a school in the Abaco Islands. We are Rotarians. When COVID-19 shut down our businesses and quarantined us all, we found ways to help our fellow man. We collected food and helped distribute it through many, many local food banks. We subsidized businesses in our communities so that they could stay in business and keep our communities employed. We provided recognition and support for our first responders and our frontline workers. We found ways to meet and socialize when we couldn't meet and socialize. We are Rotarians. Last year, we lost 26 Rotarians, and we've lost 2 since July 1st. We would ask all of us to take a few minutes to pay tribute to those who have passed. And Teresa, would you read their names and the clubs they belong to?
Jim Archer, Tarpon Springs. John Elias, Seminole. Candace Glewin, Trinity. Mel Green, Spring Hill. Glenn Keys, Tarpon Springs. Keith Kerber, Dunedin North. Debbie Lees, Trinity. Ron Lundberg, Kings Bay. Joan Miller, Trinity. Jean Murphy, Zephyr Hills. Ron O'Connell, Kings Bay. Mark Pickett, Crystal River. Jim Pittman, Zephyr Hills. Cynthia Rosari, Inverness. Tony Schwager, Gulf Beaches. Joe Seidel, Newport Richey. Bill Slavatkin, Seminole. Al Stevenson, Seminole. Linda Tolmach, Sugar Mill Woods. Joseph Turk, Kings Bay. Don Verling, Newport Richey. Jim West, Rotary E-Club of Southeast USA and Caribbean. Manny Widman, Tarpon Springs. Gil Wishart, Spring Hill. Stan Jukabowski, Brooksville. Dennis Murphy, Newport Richey. And if we could take a moment of silence, please.
Okay, on a lighter note, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for the evening. He's been a friend of our district for many, many years and is a good friend of mine, George Robertson Burnett. George sent me a bio of himself today and the other day, and some of this stuff I didn't know, so it's kind of cool. George was born in Aberdeen, Scotland. For those of you who don't know that, based on his accent. George was educated at Aberdeen Grammar School and Aberdeen College of Commerce. He was first employed as a fledgling journalist. George went on to serve Her Majesty's government in the smuggling of drug and alcohol enforcement. After moving to England, George started his own company, George Hotels Ltd, and specialized in ownership and operation of hotels, restaurants, and mainly English pubs. George sold all of his UK business interests and moved to the United States in 2004 with his wife, Carol, and daughter, Pippa. George started GRB Properties, LLC in Florida, but retired in 2008 when he secured green card residency. George and Carol and Pippa became U.S. citizens in 2015, a past president of the Rotary Club of Bartow, past district governor for District 6890, 2013-14. George has served for a 4-year term as Assistant Rotary Coordinator from 2014 to 2018. He is now the Rotary Coordinator for Rotary Zone 34. Carol and George are major donors of the Rotary Foundation. George is a member of the Paul Harris Society. Would you all please help me welcome our guest speaker, George Robertson Burnett.
Thank you so much. I so much appreciate it. Thank you so much for the invite. Immediate past District Governor Alan and Teresa, lovely to see you. And it's nice to be with your current District Governor Jeannie as well, and all my friends who are past District Governors, and I see quite a few other friends on here, so, because District 6950 is a second home to me, and I'm so delighted to be with you. So I'm just going to, I hope that you can see my screen. That's what I'm kind of hoping.
We can.
Does that look like my screen?
Yeah.
Good.
Great, excellent. Well, I made that specially for you. It took me hours and hours. No, it didn't. Anyway, I'm so delighted to be with you here tonight. For those who don't, I hope you've all eaten, by the way, because I only plan to talk for about an hour and a half. But you know, if you haven't eaten, I would rush and make a sandwich if I were you. So here I am. Rotary Coordinator, past District Governor George Robertson Burnett. Now you all know me. You know that's not how I see myself. Since 2013, I always start with a different slide, which is that one. That's how I see myself, and that's probably more appropriate. You know, what a handsome looking guy. I wish I had that much hair, I can assure you. But anyway, it's great to be with you tonight. Thank you so much, Alan and Teresa, for inviting me. It's great to be back in 6950. It seems like a while certainly since I've been over there with you. I have managed to visit some of your clubs, but I just wanted to make a special note of the fact that it's great to be back in 6950. So I just wanted to take you on a little journey. As I say, it'll only take about an hour and a half. Get yourself comfy and get your drink. So I wanted to mention pivotal moments. And honestly, it won't take an hour and a half. But anyway, pivotal moments. I can remember my first pivotal moment, and it wasn't actually something that I can really remember, but I'm very aware of it. It's when I was teething, you know, and in Scotland, when you're teething, your parents have a great way of numbing your gums. They actually use Scotch whiskey. So this was a pivotal moment for me, long before I even can remember, because of course she would apply whiskey to my gums. Now I would get a taste for that. I feigned toothache throughout my childhood, which gave me a great taste, and as you know, a great taste for 2 fingers of Scotch, and I'm glad to say that sustained me throughout my whole life. Another pivotal moment, hey, we all have pivotal moments when we get married, and because my wife can probably hear me, I've got to make that a pivotal moment, okay? So it was a pivotal moment. But the other pivotal moment for me was moving to the United States in 2004. What a huge difference. You know, all of a sudden, I came from a country where everybody understood me to a country where nobody understood me, despite the fact that I thought I spoke the same language. But no, absolutely not. I mean, I would get, what, you know, all that sort of stuff. So it has been quite difficult. But as you can see, since I became an American citizen, I now have an American accent. It's in the envelope they give you along with your certificate. So I'm really pleased to be fully understood ever since I got my citizenship. It's been great. So 2004, that's when I came to this great country, and I found a place called Bartow. Now, I don't live in Bartow anymore, but that's still my club, because I'm kind of concerned if I leave my Rotary Club, I might not get into any other one. So I stick with Bartow. And you know, we have a saying in Bartow, a day out of Bartow is a day wasted. And I love my Rotary Club. I love my old town. I actually live in Lakeland, but I tell you what, I even shop back in Bartow because I miss it so much. But what an absolute joy to actually find Rotary. I mean, I was not a Rotarian when I came to the United States. Anita Stasiak, my sponsor and my bank manager and my dear friend, called me and said, would you like to come to lunch? Now, all of you on this call know that that's just another way of saying, do you want to join Rotary? I didn't know that at the time. I, like an innocent abroad, went for lunch, expecting that's what I was going for. Next thing I knew, I'm a blooming district governor. No, it wasn't quite that quick, but it's amazing to me that I joined this club, and all of a sudden I go from knowing 0 people to knowing 72 people in the whole of the United States. I know one or two more, some of them even like me. But the great thing was when I first came here that 72 people became my friends. The fellowship of Rotary is amazing. You all know that. But for me, coming from 0 to 72, I'll never ever forget how Rotary in Bartow changed my life. The other aspect was, of course, 2004. You all remember, it was the year of the hurricanes. And I, unfortunately, having bought a new house, found that I had a potted plant in the front room that I didn't expect, and it was an oak tree. So this oak tree in my front room gave me quite a lot of problems with regard to repairs, etc. So guess what? I go to my Rotary Club and say, anybody know a roofer? Anybody know a gutter expert? Anyway, that's what we mean by networking. What is better than dealing with Rotarians? I got my house totally repaired. You can drive past it today. It's not mine anymore. But knock on the door, ask for me. But anyway, you know, I can assure you, Rotary changed what could have been a total disaster into something completely manageable because of networking. I put Publix up there because I love to tell the story that George Jenkins, of course, of Publix fame, was a Rotarian in Lakeland. Not only that, in the early days of Publix, it was just a supermarket. He went to his Rotary Club one day and there was a chemist, or you don't call him a chemist, you call him a pharmacist. See, I don't know all the words yet, but anyway, the pharmacist sitting in the club and he said, hey, George, why don't you have pharmacies in your Publix stores? And he said, I don't want to get involved in that sort of thing. He went home, thought about it, and went back next week and he said, I'll tell you what, I'll put pharmacies in Publix stores if you run them for me. How's that for networking in Rotary? It was because of Rotary that you can go to the pharmacy and you can get your flu jab and get $10 back. I think that that's amazing, all thanks to Rotary. So when you get your $10, say thank you, Rotary, and please donate it to the Polio Plus Fund. Anyway, that's networking. Well, isn't that fabulous? And then we've got doing good. I mean, I have been amazed, as you can imagine, in the job that I do every day dealing with fabulous Rotarians. I see the most fabulous things. But I always like to tell about my own club. I like to boast on my own club. They say never do that. But you know what? When you put together children that are looking for a home, a forever home, together with parents who are looking to adopt, is there anything better than that in Rotary? Finding forever homes for children in our community. I love what we do in Rotary as I go around and see all of the wonderful things that we do. And we got to mention end polio. Isn't that amazing? Used to be 1/3 people a year were affected by that. We have eradicated it almost single-handedly, not quite, but almost single-handedly by 99.9%. Isn't that absolutely fabulous? You know, sometimes I think we should just lift our hand up, throw it over our back and start tapping because, you know, we do this for nothing really, but if we actually pat ourselves in the back now and again, it reminds us what a fabulous organization this is. So, hey, personal growth. I did become district governor in 2013-14. You will remember that is the year of Engage Rotary Change Lives. Isn't that the most, I'm sorry, Alan, I'm sorry, Charles, I'm sorry, Tim, I'm sorry, all you PDGs, that you didn't get the best, which is Engage Rotary Change Lives. But only one group can get it, and we got it. And as you know, when you engage Rotary, the first life you change is your own, and then you go on to change so many other people's lives. It's just the book. Having said that, it was pretty good last year. Okay, Alan, I'll give you that. Rotary Connects the World. Quite liked it, but was hugely, hugely disappointed. Because I'd spoken to Mark Maloney and I said, Mark, I have got your theme for you. I have got the perfect theme for you. And I showed him it and he went, you know what, I'll give it some thought. So I was very disappointed when he did that disclosure in San Diego and it wasn't what I'd given him. However, I understand, and I tried it again with Holger. He didn't use it either. I keep trying. So next year, I hope that this will be our theme. Look at that. You don't have to be sober to do good in the world. I mean, doesn't that just sum up the whole thing, you know? I mean, I've proved this year after year after year, that this is a great organization, and we've got to have fun. And fun sometimes means adult beverage. So anyway, I put that forward. So, hey, I hope I haven't spoiled it for the DGE because, of course, when they get the reveal this year, this quite could well be it. So we'll see how that works. So I am the Rotary Coordinator for Zone 34. For those who don't know what the Rotary Coordinator is, well, I'll put it a better way. If somebody does know what it is, could they send me a list? Because I have no clue. I've only been doing it for 3 years. But anyway, I have an area which covers Georgia, Florida, and the whole of the Caribbean, and 3 countries in South America. And I get to go to Rotary clubs throughout that whole area. Yep, it sucks to be me. It's absolutely fabulous. I get to deal with nearly 2,000 Rotary clubs, and guess what? 28 countries and 10 languages. Sorry, that's slightly wrong because of course I'm here now. 11 languages in this country, in our zone, which is absolutely fabulous, you know. And guess what? None of them understand what I'm saying, but never mind. I like to look on Rotary as a franchise. I really like to look on it as a franchise. You know, Rotary gives us those broad principles, but how we manifest ourselves is down to the people in the clubs. It's down to us, how we manifest ourselves as Rotary. And, you know, we have all that influence. We make Rotary what it is. We got to connect to the community. I always say, you know, it's not just a fact of the communities are the place where we do the most good, because that's certainly the truth. It's certainly where we do the most good, but it's also our sales area. That's where the next batch of Rotarians is coming from. We've got to look after the community. We've got to let the community know how good we are. I always look at the communities, and here in Lakeland where I live, they love the Rotary clubs, and they say so because the Rotary clubs let them know how good they are. That's a great tool. You know, individually, you make it happen. There's absolutely no doubt. You know, there's so much, as I go around these thousands of Rotarians that are in our area, you know, it is absolutely amazing to me what individually we do. But generally, it takes a team. And I do like to look on Rotary as team. Here's our team. You know, people working together with a common purpose. And guess what? When we've got a common purpose in Rotary, we turn into superheroes. That's what we turn into, absolute superheroes. And that's what Rotary is. It's full of superheroes, like the people that are on this call tonight. Thank you so much for giving up your evening, by the way. That's great. So good to see you. You know, I listened to John Hugo the other day, and John Hugo gave these 3 words to me. And these words, this is the serious bit, by the way. These words have stuck with me, you know, strong fellowship, strong ethics, strong integrity, strong purpose, strong clubs. I think strong is a great word to sum up where we are in Rotary. And then we've got vibrant. We've got to enjoy going to our Rotary clubs. If we're not enjoying going to our Rotary clubs, just remember, we are part of the production line that makes that Rotary club what it is. If we're not enjoying it, let's change it. I don't mean change a club. Yeah, change a club internally. Make it that vibrant club. That is so important. And the third word, relevance. You know, relevance to our Rotary principles. I get that. And relevance to our communities. But the most important thing to me, relevance to our Rotarians. Our clubs have got to be relevant to our Rotarians. So important. Hey, have we adapted or what? Alan, you're absolutely right. We were there at Pets. Who could have believed that within a week we would be in the situation we're in now? But we have done a marvelous job. You have done a marvelous job in adapting your clubs and making them COVID-19 compliant. You know, who would have thought that we would have turned Rotary into a cross between Celebrity Squares and Honey, I Shrunk the Rotarians? But that's how we appear now. That's how we appear. And you know, hey, we've adapted so well, and I'm sure we'll continue to. I hope that we can get back to in person. Don't you all miss that fellowship? I certainly miss it. Big style, really big style. You know, when we come to award ceremonies, we often feel a little bit embarrassed because there's always that service above self thing. You know, you say, well, why do we have awards ceremonies? Because it's service above self. But you know what? I look at it a different way. You know, this is not just a personal achievement. This is an achievement perceived by others. And that's the important thing about awards. You have achieved according to someone else. And it's very much the only appreciation that we ever look for in Rotary is someone else saying, hey, great job. And you know, as Malthus said, self-esteem is the highest accolade that you can actually feel. And you know what? When we get those awards and hear that someone else recognized that we did a sterling job, please, please feel great pride for the fact that others recognized what a fabulous job you did. Now, I'm going to run down now because, I mean, obviously, Alan only gave me a certain time, but I did want to leave you with just a few ideas for your Rotary clubs to make them the best that they possibly can be. And they come from a fellow citizen of yours and mine, would you believe, in this little known fact. It's this guy. Did you know that this guy was half American? You maybe didn't know that. His mother was American, his father was English, and that is a little known fact. But he also was a Rotarian, and a very staunch Rotarian. He loved Rotary with a vengeance. So here's what Winston said. He said, tax is a way of telling someone to go to hell in such a way as they're looking forward to the journey. I think that's great, and it teaches us to be diplomatic. We should always be diplomatic in Rotary. So how about success consists of going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm? And it doesn't that sum up so much? Set your goals, and if you're not meeting them, change the goals. That's a great idea. So how about Americans will always do the right thing. Remember, he was half American, but only after having tried all the alternatives. So he really did say this stuff, you know. But anyway, don't be afraid to try new things. It's very, very important. And how about this? An unpopular MP said to Winston, "Winston, can I borrow tuppence to phone a friend?" He immediately said, "Here's fourpence. Why don't you phone both of them?" I just love that. That is British humor encapsulated. So stay within budget. And here's my absolute favorite. Nancy Anster said, "Winston, if you were my husband, I'd poison your tea." His response was, "Nancy, if I were your husband, I'd drink it." And that reminds us never to lose our sense of humor, because our sense of humor is so important to us actually achieving the fabulous things that we do in Rotary. And you know, talking about the fabulous things that we achieve, this he wrote, and you know, you can read the Rotarian aspect to what he wrote here. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Doesn't that just sum up Rotary for you? But I wanted to sum up with a quick Rotary story, and it is a quick story, about coming back from the British Virgin Islands, where I'd been visiting the clubs that they have out there. Fabulous trip, but I was pretty tired by the time I was coming out, and I had to come through Puerto Rico. So I get to the airport and I noticed that there's an earlier flight to Orlando. So I went up to the desk and I said, "Is there any chance of getting on the earlier flight?" She noticed my Rotary pin and she said, "Are you in Rotary?" And I went, "Yes, I am." She said, "Oh, well," she says, "not only am I going to get you on that flight, I am going to upgrade you." What about that then? Who's wearing their pin the next time they go to the airport? Everybody. Anyway, she actually said, gave me the upgrade. I got the big seat, the free drinks. Not the reason that I'm telling you the story. The reason I'm telling you the story is the 4 words that she said as I was walking away from that desk. She said, "You Rotarians are awesome." Can you believe that? Those words have rung in my ears ever since. You Rotarians are awesome. And you are, and I love you for it. Thank you so much, and thank you for the invite. If it's all right with you, I'd love to stick around for your presentations tonight. But thank you for the invite. Have a great evening.
And thank you, George. And let's all give George a great big hand of applause. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Close that down.
I'm going to close this real quick. Hey, there's 2 other people, one other person, a couple other people I want to thank before we start getting into awards, and we're going to move on. But most of you may or may not know Jessica Bogger. I don't know if you can see her or not. Jessica is my life, really. You know, Mike used to talk about having a wife and a Rotary wife, and I have a wife and a Rotary wife and a work wife. I mean, I don't know really what I would do without her. I mean, she makes so many things possible, including a lot of the storyboards that you're looking at tonight. So I want to thank you. And she's also Rotarian. She actually was, in 2015, I think I was club president, was I? And Jessica was our Rotary Youth Exchange student to Brazil that year. So we sent her to Brazil and thought she would come back being the mayor of Brazil. She almost did. But so she's also a Rotarian in the Rotary Club of St. Pete West. And Paul and Evie, I'd like to thank both of you. I mean, a lot of you got packages delivered to your doors and your homes, and we're going to open them as we go through the evening. I hope, unless you've already opened them, which is fine as well. But Paul and Evie, I want to thank you for all you did in getting those distributed. And Evie, thank you for all the coaching and all the other things that you've done for me in the past year. And we appreciate that deeply. So, and thank you, George, for being with us. And we hope you'll come back and spend more time with us. And I'll actually be making a trip to Lakeland pretty soon to see you. So, but let's move right on into our presentations. And the first part we're going to start with are the clubs of the year. So, Teresa?
The Club of the Year will have reached the highest levels of success in all areas of club activities through the unified efforts of all of its members.
And the first club that we're going to recognize is a small club of the year, and that is Zephyr Hills Daybreak with their president, Manny Funes. Manny, thank you very much, and congratulations, Zephyr Hills Daybreak. If you haven't opened it, there you go. Thank you, Manny. The second club we're going to recognize as Club of the Year is the mid-size club, and that is the Rotary Club of Indian Rocks Beach. With their president, Vernon Bryant. Vernon could not be with us tonight. He had a family medical emergency, but we congratulate you, Vernon, and we'll see you soon. And then Large Club of the Year. You know, I don't know what more we could say about the Rotary Club of Newport Richey and all that you do for your community. George, you talked about relating to your community in Rotary, and this club definitely does that. Their president this year, Derek, you did a great job, and we thank you for all that you do. We appreciate that, and congratulations.
Thanks, I love the picture.
Okay, thank you, Derek. The next club awards that we're going to move through is the Rotary Club Presidents of the Year. Teresa?
Have led their club well with obvious and purposeful club activity in their community. Under their guidance, their club will have participated in district events, have paid dues on time, and participated in training members of the club to lead the following year.
And that first president of the year is a small club president of the year, and that's Jay Osborne for the Rotary Club of East Lake Sunrise. I don't know if Jay can see us on the call or hear us, but thank you, Jay. You did a tremendous job up there this year. The next club president we're going to award is the Mid-Size Club of the Year, and that goes to Elizabeth Beth Bell. Beth, you did an amazing job at Clearwater East. We thank you. You led the parade when we did the 100,000 meal pack at Countryside High School. We organized, I don't know how many hundreds of people were there, but you know, we had people from different organizations, different service organizations, different churches, different communities, different hospitals, and you put that all together, and we thank you for that. So Beth, thank you very much. The next club president we're going to award is Chris Costella. Chris is from the Rotary Club of Wesley Chapel. Chris, I know you're on the call. I don't know if James is going to be able to find you or not, but thank you for all you did up there. Chris is our membership chair this year and is doing a tremendous job. Chris, thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Chris actually almost single-handedly, by the way, organized the first 9/11 recognition event in Pasco County. And we had an opportunity to participate in that last year. And if you haven't gone up there to the Premium Outlets Mall, back by their food court is a wall of honor. Chris was a first responder during the 9/11 crisis. And there's a wall of honor back there with even some memorabilia from some of the trade center back there. Chris, that was a great job, and thank you for all you've done there.
Alan, thank you, but all the credit goes to the club.
Okay, Chris, nice job. The next, we're going to start getting into, now that we've done the club, some of the Rotarian awards. And the Assistant Governor of the Year, and then I'll let Teresa talk about what this means, and I don't want to come back.
The Assistant Governor of the Year will display extraordinary leadership as well as a true spirit of service above self in carrying out their responsibilities as an Assistant Governor.
You know, I had the great opportunity of being Assistant Governor, and I happen to have won this award. It means a great deal to me. Assistant governors in this past year, I gave them a lot more latitude in terms of what I needed them to do in their clubs and things like that, based on us being able not to actually get to those clubs and how they really organize this. But our assistant governor really, assistant governor of the year this year really went above and beyond and much more than what I asked him to do. And I asked him to do a great deal. So with that slide, our assistant governor of the year is Mr. Ed Halleck. Ed is a friend of mine. He and I started in Rotary at the Rotary Club of Pinellas Park about the same time. We were Interact coordinators. We've known each other. We played golf with each other. He's been a great friend. He does a great job in Rotary. Thank you, Ed. And Ed is with the Rotary Club of Central Pinellas.
Thank you.
The next category we're going to talk, there you are, Ed. Thanks. Is Carol with you? The next,
No, she's not.
okay. The next group is Governor Citations. And Teresa?
This award is presented at the district governor's discretion to deserving Rotarians that the governor wishes to personally recognize.
Okay, and these citations are for a group of people who really went above and beyond, who actually helped us in all kinds of different situations, either in their clubs or as a district or as a committee. The first one I'd like to recognize is Clifford Brock. He's from the Rotary Club of Tarpon Springs. Ali Shananer from the Rotary Club of Palm Harbor. She really got all of the supplies and things that we had picked up for the Hurricane Dorian disaster thing and had them all trucked to Miami for us and stuff like that. Carl Treelevin, thank you so much. Carl has been a coach and a mentor and everything that I've needed him to be in my Rotary career. So thank you, Carl. You're a tremendous Rotarian in and out. Abe Tang, I don't know if you're on the call tonight. Abe is a tremendous, he's done a great job. He was our international president, international committee chair last year. But Abe, thank you for all you do there. And Gene Beal, for those you don't know it, Gene is does a lot of things with us in terms of our sports things. We got closed down a little bit for Rotary to Raise this year. And the hockey thing, but Gene, I hope we'll be able to get back and do those really soon. So thank you very much, Gene. The next category we're going to award is the Keith Kerber ACE Award for Area Club and Excellence.
This award is presented to a group of clubs and their assistant governor who have come together to improve their communities, working as a team to create bigger and better projects for the betterment of the people in their area and beyond.
Well, thank you. This award is very, very special to me as well. I had the opportunity to win this award 2 times, but it is an award that we actually hand to the assistant governor, but it actually is for the whole area. And Eric, thank you very much for all that you've done. You are our recipient for this year. Your clubs are Dunedin North, Dunedin Waterside, Palm Harbor, and Tarpon Springs. It was a group effort. Be very, very proud of this award, Eric. You did a great job. I don't know if you're on the call tonight or not, but thank you very much. The next award that I would like to award is the Milt and Alice Jones Service Award. And Teresa?
This award is given to a Rotarian who has given a considerable amount of time and service to Rotary in club, district, and beyond. This award is given in recognition of outstanding performance, personal commitment, and dedication to the ideals of Rotarian service to community, district, and the world.
This year's recipient of this award is a very dear friend of mine. He coached me, helped me. I spent hours on the phone with him. He has just been a great source of information and service to me last year. And this year's award goes to Eloy Nunez. Eloy, thank you very, very much for all you've done and all the time and energy that you have put into Rotary. This is a well-deserved award for you. So thank you very much. Okay, the next award we're going to is, I call it the Woody Register Distinguished Leadership Award. We've got it here as the Woodrow Register Distinguished Service Award. I'll let Teresa read what it is, and then I want to talk a little bit more about it.
This leadership award is given to a dedicated Rotarian who lives the ideals of Rotary and works to instill it in others. They have given considerable time in developing leaders to work not only at the district level, but also beyond. This award is recognition of dedicated commitment to Rotary, preserving its ideals and leading others to believe in truth, fairness, goodwill, and better friendships. Your leadership has changed so many lives, and your presence had made the world a much better place.
And those of us who had the great opportunity to know and meet Woody would echo everything that this award recognized. Woody was a district governor with us. He was club president, I think, in the Rotary Club of Dunedin North or Dunedin. He was primarily lived in Dunedin. Woody was a banker, was a chairman and a CEO, I think, of First National Bank. But Woody had a way of dealing with things, and he was Mr. Rotary. I remember early on in my Rotary career at Pinellas Park, and I had an opportunity to talk to Woody, and he knew that I was struggling. I was struggling with the kids and my time and my job, and when I was going to be able to fit all this in. And that was a time when you just could not miss a Rotary meeting. And Pinellas Park was a very, very strict type of club at that time. And if I missed a meeting, Harry Byerline would be standing at the door looking for my makeup card. But anyway, but Woody had a way of telling us how to deal with time and management. And I know he's told many Rotarians this across the district, and I've repeated this time and time again, but he told me, he said, Alan, really, it's really simple. He said, when you start dealing with Rotary and how it fits into your life, he said, really, you can handle that basically on one hand. And then he went on to tell me, he said, yeah, one hand, he said, first it's your God. He said, then it's your family. Then it's your career. Then it's Rotary. And then everything else is after that. So if you prioritize that, you could figure out how Woody prioritized his life with Rotary. But this award goes to someone that's very deserving, and it goes to Mr. Ed Halleck from the Rotary Club of Central Pinellas. So Ed, well deserved. You did a great job this year, and you knew Woody and had an opportunity to talk to him in those years. So I hope you'll appreciate this award as much as I did when I received it. Ed?
Thank you. Thank you. So that's a real honor. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Our next award. Okay, this one is a very special award too. This is the Herbert G. Brown Humanitarian Award. And Teresa, do you want to kind of read this?
This award is to be held in the highest esteem, and it is not expected to be given each year. It is for a lifetime of honoring the ideals of Rotary, working diligently for the betterment of life for all, especially their children throughout the world, for a life devoted to the promotion of peace through the alleviation of the world's suffering by improving health, hunger, water, and literacy, especially with the children and through them, into the future.
Teresa and I have had the opportunity to know the Browns for a lot of years, both in Rotary and some other organizations. This photo that you're looking at on the screen was actually taken at their house out in Clearwater Beach. And this is with Robert Hall and Charlene. And if you look to the right back there, you can see a case, a lighted display case. In that, Herb has got all his memorabilia from the 80, I think it's 81 or 82 countries that he visited at the time that he was international president. The last time I had dinner with Herb and Dion, he said to me, he said, listen, Alan, he said, I'm probably the only guy that you'll ever know that's had dinner with two saints, living saints. And he went on to tell me that he had dinner with John Paul and Mother Teresa. And he's got pictures of them in that. And he's most proud to show you all that when he gets in there. So I think the recipient of this award is well-deserved. one, because of Herb's action involved in this. Go ahead. Our recipient of the Herbert Dion Brown Humanitarian Award is our own Liz Fields. Liz is in the E-Club. She is the director of Rotary Camp Florida. Herb was a big part of us being able to obtain that piece of ground originally. So Liz, thank you for all you do. Thank you for being a Rotarian. Thank you for what's going on at Rotary Camp Florida. You want to say something?
Yes, thank you guys. I really am honored to accept this award. I really couldn't do it without you guys. It's like your family to me. I remember years ago when my dad used to go every Wednesday night. We never knew where he went. And now I found out from my mom later that he was actually a Rotarian. So it's been instilled in me in my life. So I thank you so very much. And I thank you all for your support always. So love you guys.
Okay, thank you, Liz. Okay, this is a thank you and in recognition of our leadership team last year, and this is kind of representative of those people. So if you'll, Maestro, bring that up. Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank you and recognize each one of our assistant governors, Carol Barklow in Area 1, Troy. Troy's our district governor nominee, but still finished out his year as Area 2 governor. Ed Halleck was in Area 3. We had to move those around a little bit. Eric Ogilvie, Area 4. Nicole Newland, Area 5. Lisa Shippey Gonzalez in 6. Karen Nikolai in 7. And Eric, thank you in Area 8 for all you do. Thank you, guys. You helped me a lot. This was our main district leadership team. And the first one I'd like to recognize, these are some cool photos behind it though, but the first one I'd like to recognize is Tim Shore. Tim is our general counsel for our district. I learned early on when I became in the district governor chain that when I went to an executive board meeting, you sit next to Tim Shore. So that's a piece of advice to all of you that are coming up, because Tim would always look at me and kind of keep me in line and say, do I need to do anything with that? No, you do, going on and on. So thank you, Tim, for all you do for us. Tara Still, I don't know if she got on the meeting or not tonight. Tara was our treasurer. She did a great job. Thank you, Tara. Our foundation chair last year and this year, Mr. Mike Chapman. Thank you, Mike. The work that you're turning out is just amazing. We had an amazing year in foundation. That we're coming up in November to celebrate that. Our district trainer is now district governor-elect Jocelyn Chapman. She did a wonderful job. Mike Eisner was our membership chair. Thank you, Mike. Our Rotary Youth Exchange chair was past district governor Jamie Mick. Jamie's at Dancing for the Stars tonight, someplace I believe in Miami. She could not be with us tonight, but she did receive her recognition. Thank you. Our Sergeant at Arms, Brian Clark. Thank you, Brian, for all you do. Deputy Administrator Evie, I can't thank you enough. I mean, I spent hours on the phone with you, hours on emails back and forth. And Paul, thank you for everything that you've done. That brings us to basically 2 final awards that are extremely important awards and very special to me. So Teresa, would you read this?
This award is presented each year to one person most deserving in the district who has performed above and beyond.
Thank you. Our recipient of this year's award sometimes reminds me of the Ever Ready Bunny. I mean, she keeps going and going and going and going. And when there's a cause, she's always leading the way. If there's someone in need, she's there to help. But well-deserved this year. Go ahead. Our Rotarian this year, of the year this year is Dr. Sandra Jean Lilo of the Rotary Club of Seminole Lake. Dr. Lilo, Sandra, I can't thank you enough for all that you do, all that you've done, all the work that you gave, all the time you spent with the hurricane disaster relief down through there. She is right now organizing another global grant for us to rehabilitate a school at Abacos Island. So Sandra, I don't know if you can get on there. I don't know if they can find you, but thank you very, very much. Okay. I saved this award for last. This is the Mel and Judy Green Legacy Award. Teresa, would you read this?
This award is presented to the Rotarian leader whose legacy of experience is not by chance, but through purpose and passion that ensures a bright future for Rotary. Given for the first time in 2020 by immediate past District Governor Alan Collins as a tribute to the late Mel Green.
Early in my year last year on a Friday afternoon, I got a phone call and it was Mel. And Mel spoke to me on the phone for probably 30 minutes. And as district governors and as past district governors, you all know that you get phone calls from past district governors and concerned Rotarians about things that are going on in the district that year. And there's always a piece of advice. Mel didn't give me a piece of advice. He was very, very concerned about, he said, how you doing? I mean, how are you really doing? You know, he wanted me to eat it right. He wanted me to get enough sleep. I mean, he cared about my health and physical well-being in Rotary. And that wasn't the only call. He would call me on and on for about 4 or 5 more times through my Rotary year. Last October the 24th was World Polio Day. And Teresa and I had, I think, 5 stops that day to meet with clubs and groups of clubs to help them with their recognition of World Polio Day. But one of those clubs was in Spring Hill. And we met at the Spring Hill Dog Park, if I remember this right. And it was a group event. I mean, in the park out there was a park setting, and there were booths set up by medical providers and chiropractors and veterinarians and anybody in dentists and things like that, and a lot of people gathering. And they asked me if I would come up and talk about polio and Rotary's contribution to eradicating polio. And I did. And I remember I was standing under an oak tree, and I remember it was about 170 degrees that day. It was brutal. And as I was talking, you can look over the crowd. If you remember, Mel was fairly tall. And I all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, see Mel's head. And I finally finished my talk and shook a few hands and went over to talk to Mel. And I remember being concerned at the heat that day. And I said, man, what are you doing here? And he said, Alan, I came to support you. I came to see you talk. And I thought, man, what a great man. I had an opportunity to spend some time with Mel at Zone this year before he died, and he just meant a ton to me. I did not know Judy. I know Mel, a little bit of the history of Mel. Mel grew up in Miami. I can tell you that Mel at one time was a cabana boy at a hotel resort in Miami. And for any of you remember back when we worked at Clearwater Beach or in the hotels or motels or the pool boys or anything like that, you had to be a pretty handsome dude to do that. Well, he must have been, because that's where he met Judy, and they were married there. Mel was a professional photographer. He photographed some celebrities. He did a lot of high profile weddings and a lot of different things, but he was a great guy. Mel's son, Danny, is on the call tonight. I don't know, James, if you can find him or not. Danny, if you want to speak. Danny, would you like to say a few words here just for us?
Sure. To Alan, thank you for inviting me to be on the call tonight. I really appreciate it. And thank you for your enthusiasm. My gosh, what a great awards program. And George was unbelievable. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am so honored to join all of you this evening. My mom and dad loved Rotary and lived Rotary. 48 years, a little over 48 years that my dad was in Rotary. Passion and purpose, as Teresa said, as she read that, it just summed up my dad pretty well. And I am so touched and grateful that you are honoring my mom and dad this way. So, their legacy lives in my heart every day, and I'm just so excited about this award. So thank you, Alan, from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Danny. And Danny, I think you'll be equally honored at our recipient. The first Mel and Judy Green Legacy Award, the first recipient of that award is going to Charlie and Mary Rogers. And Charlie and Mary, I can't thank you for everything that you've contributed to our district since you've moved over here. We were so lucky and so honored to have you here. You've been involved in so many different projects, and you were close to this. Many people probably don't know that Mel photographed your wedding. I do know that, so I'm very honored to present this to both of you, and thank you. Go ahead. But except you're muted.
Can you hear me, Alan?
Charlie?
There you go. Yes, you can, Charlie.
I can't begin to tell you how humbling this is to be the initial recipient of this. As you said, I started Rotary in the Rotary Club of Coral Gables in 1978 and helped Mel as he was to be district governor down there. So our relationship goes back over 40 years. He photographed our wedding, as you said. He was a great mentor to me, and he left a permanent legacy to the community by establishing a foundation, which I have the honor and privilege of chairing, to do good in the world, specifically in the 3 counties that he was involved with, and that's Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus County. So on behalf of his board, on behalf of his son, Danny, who we've become very close friends, and I thank you for the opportunity of being the first recipient, and continue to keep Mel's legacy alive in Rotary. This means so much to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. By the way, did you open the package?
No, can I do that?
Please, would you please?
It had strict instructions not to open until you
I know,
told.
sorry. If in fact I forgot to let you open packages along the way, guys, I apologize. So we lost you visually though, Charlie.
Goodness, whoever wrapped this did a good job.
You did.
Whoa. Oh my goodness. It's a beautiful crystal. I'll read it because you probably can't. Mel and Judy Green Legacy Award presented to Charlie and Mary Rogers, whose legacy of experience is not by chance, but through purpose and passion that ensures a bright future for Rotary. District 6950, 2019-20, Alan Collins, Governor. Thank you so much.
Thank you both very much.
And Danny, thank you for joining us.
Now that concludes my part of our presentation tonight. Congratulations on all of the recipients. Everyone in our Rotary District deserves an award, so I thank you very much for that. But now, we never really got an opportunity to do a change of horses or change of banners, but so we'd like to do that right now, and I'd like to introduce our sitting district governor, Jeannie Germain. And Jeannie, out with last year's.
Oh, we got to go back.
Out with last year's.
She can't see it.
And in with this year's.
I don't think she can see it.
And Jeannie, you're on.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. And I have to share with everyone, Alan did surprise me. He, I guess, got in touch with our club, my home club president, and I did a club visit with my club this week. And so they had the banner there to present that said Home Club of District Governor. And I can tell you, it was a little overwhelming to see that club banner in my club. So thank you, Alan and TLC. You guys have been amazing leaders. So I get the privilege of having Alan open up something that's from the district. And as he does it, I'm going to read what this plaque says. I see a big blur there. And so it is Alan R. Collins, District Governor, 2019-2020, in honor and with great appreciation for your unselfish dedication, leadership, and contributions to District 6950, and for your unwavering commitment to the ideals and principles of Rotary Connecting the World. You got it there? Does he need help? Can't quite see it, Alan, sorry.
Turn your background off.
And you're on mute.
It's okay, we're off mute. So.
There you go. Can't quite see it though because of the virtual background.
Can you shut the virtual background down for a sec?
Yes, we can do that.
Scroll up if there's enough.
Yeah, up to the top. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's
everyone.
absolutely gorgeous.
It is beautiful.
Perfect. So
Thank you.
Alan, I just want to say a special thank you to you and TLC. You have both been wonderful friends to me, and I am so excited to be able to follow you. I don't know that I'll be able to fill your footsteps, so I'm just going to make my own. But I also want to congratulate everyone in the district. District 6950, I think, is the best district in Rotary. And I hear that a lot from everyone, that their district's the best. But, Charlie and Mary moving here proves that 6950 has got to be the best because they're here. So I can't thank all of you enough. I know Alan appreciates the support of each and every Rotarian, and I can tell you that I certainly appreciate it. Danny, I'm so sorry for your loss, but I can tell you that Mel was just an amazing man, and I had the opportunity to get to know him a little bit as well once I was selected to be district governor nominee designate. So I appreciate the words of wisdom that he shared with me, along with the other past district governors. So without further ado, I get to close the meeting. Thank you all for being with us for this wonderful celebration. It truly wasn't what we wanted to do, but Alan really wanted to make certain that everybody had their awards and their recognition. And we will celebrate hopefully at the end of 2020, 2021 and do a dual celebration. So thank you all. Have a good evening. Stay safe and be well. And I hope to see each of you soon. Good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night. Good night,
Bye,
Gene.
Charlie.
Night, John Boy.